do you mean on your end? Can you see me still?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Facebook is doing. Okay. Okay. So let me just, hello everyone, in case you're already watching, we're still setting up our technology. Let's just check if everything is really happening, because that's always good to know. Yeah. Oh yeah. Looks like we are live. I don't know. On your end. Oh yeah. Can you see me still? Mm-hmm. I think we're doing this, Drew. Awesome. So I got this on quiet over here just to see that it's still happening. All right. Hello, Drew.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for allowing me to open up and help work through some things as a dad.
Beautiful. And how many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids. They range between 1.5 and 10 years old. And so I have my hands full. And, balancing the act of being a dad and a husband and an entrepreneur, and also serving in church is just a constant battle for me, and trying to figure out where to put my time, my efforts, and make sure that I'm giving, the intention where I need to give it, and not neglect some of the other areas of my life.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm glad to have you. And I didn't realize you had 4 kids. Holy smokes. That's a lot of work and a lot of joy, I'm sure.
Yeah, my wife, though, thank goodness, she is the rock of our relationship. So she takes care of them mostly, and I just kind of take a little credit here and there for it.
Beautiful. And I know this group is all about parents and all, that we face, but do you want to share real quick too what you do for work, for your business?
Yeah, I have a business that takes men on adventure trips. And so the premise of why it was created was to help men to be able to get away, to disconnect from everyday life, and so that they can recharge, rejuvenate, and that way they can go home and be the best dads, be the best husbands, and just be the best men they can be, and so that they can be more productive in life and be more beneficial to their families and those they associate with. And it's called Epic Man Trips.
Wow, that sounds fun. I'd like to go on one of those.
I know a lot of the ladies are a little bummed out that this is geared towards just men, but that's my cause, is to help men be good men.
That's
or
awesome.
To be good men be better men is what it is.
Yeah, and I do believe that we all have a strong core of inherent goodness in us anyway. So, and that's a lot what the EA work is about too, is about finding our true inner good core and just seeing what resonates there and letting everything that is not us and that doesn't resonate with that fall off. So that it's very much a similar mission to what you're on, and different modalities. So I'm glad we're combining this today somehow. And
Well, thank you.
so Drew, what is exactly the guilt that you talked about that you want to address today?
Yeah, I kind of hinted at the beginning. One of the biggest challenges for me, and it starts with my childhood. My dad was also an entrepreneur, and he worked a lot. And growing up, I really just wanted to be with him. And it's not like I wanted to be with him 24/7, but I just wanted to be with him more. And he would show up to vacations a couple days in and then leave a couple days early, and I just didn't get that time with my dad. And I remember at a young age saying, when I'm a dad, I really want to be there for my kids. And so I've deliberately chosen professions and businesses that would allow me to have more time with my family. But one of the challenges that I think it's evolved over the years, but I still battle with it in a way, that I can spend time. I can be out in the backyard playing with my boys, playing baseball, or we can playing a game after dinner. And no matter how much time I give or the quality of the time I give with them, they'll be like, they'll ask me to do something else. And immediately this guilt comes in, is like, did I give them the attention they need? Did I give them enough time? Or, I may be working on my computer and they're in the other room and I can hear them playing. And whether they're asking to play or not, I feel sometimes guilty that I might be neglecting my children. Like I should be playing with them when in reality, I have to work, or I need to take care of something at church, or I need to take care of something to help my wife out with dinner or whatever it may be. And I always, not always, but quite often feel the guilt. And my wife says, you're a good dad, and don't feel guilty. You do spend time with them. But it's like, how do I overcome this where I know that I am giving them the attention they need and that they are getting, a lot better, dad time than I got as a kid. And so that, that they're getting that attention so that they are growing up the way that they should be growing up. And because I really do take fatherhood as an important role. I really want to help my children not only just grow up, but to grow up to be good humans, to give back to the world and to make a difference and excel in their creative abilities.
Yeah, beautiful goal. And I am so glad you're doing this, because I grew up mostly without my dad, and it's so wonderful and important, no matter if you're as a couple or divorced, that both parents are there and spending that quality time, and what I'm hearing from you is you are spending quality time, and what you want to shed is really just that operating out of that level of guilt that something has put onto you, that you're not even sure then that you can determine clearly, have I actually spent enough time, or do I need more, and which part of it is enough and which part of it is just the guilt.
Yeah, and it's almost like, because I'm the kind of guy where I love metrics to measure things, and so it's like I'm like wondering, since 10 years ago when I became a dad, is like, where's that metric? Where's the line in the sand that says, Drew, you have done your job today at being a good dad? And I'm like, where is it? So it's like this internal battle I'm constantly dealing with, because I'm like, where's the measuring stick? What do I measure it against?
Yes, that is definitely hard to measure. Yeah, awesome. So let's get to it. Let's do some EA on it. And I'm certainly, how do I want to say this? I'm pretty sure you haven't done EA before, emotional acceptance. So let me just guide you through it as we go. So we'll drop into a very deep state with our eyes closed, and if there are questions that arise, you can ask, of course. And also, if something feels like it wants to really be shared from the heart, then share. What we want to stay out of a little bit, but what often comes in anyway, and that'll be fine too, is if the head wants to pull you out of it or wants to rationalize a lot of things. So just inviting you to stay aware of where it's coming from. Is it your head, going into crazy mode, or is it a share that popped from your heart? And then the main thing of what we're going to do is we're going to feel. So we're going to track where that guilt sits in your body, and then we're going to just spend time feeling it. And this is where it gets really exciting for all the onlookers, because they'll just see us sitting here. But that's okay, because that's just a part of what we've not really learned. So just demonstrating how phenomenally simple it is, yet it's not always easy. And so, yeah. So are you ready?
Yeah. So you want me to close my eyes?
Yeah, I'll close them with you.
Okay.
And just so you're not alone in this. So let's close your eyes and just drop in with your breath for a couple seconds, and just really arrive. And for those of you watching, feel free to do this with us, because it's really a good exercise to start feeling your feelings. Just really taking a couple good breaths and feeling where you feel the air come in and the air go out. And then from your root, we're going to send a thick grounding cord to the center of the earth. Wrap it around the core of the earth a couple times with a big knot in it, just so that you're firmly grounded to the earth. Feel supported, feel where your body is touching the surfaces below. And really feeling gravity is securing you. Gravity's got your back. The earth is holding you. You're safe. And then imagine a big pillar or column from the base of your spine going all the way through your spine, the top of your head, out of the top of your head, to the edge of the universe, where a power and a light resides that is so much brighter than what we know, what we can see. And invite some of that light into that column to travel to the top of your head, through the top of your head, through your head, throat, and straight into your heart, to illuminate your heart. Just really feel that light activating your heart. And really drop into the energy of your heart and just really focus on feeling it, being present with your heart. And when you get a good sense of feeling it, then and that energy is getting stronger and you're feeling a lot of sensation in your heart area, let me know.
Okay.
Great. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong are you in your heart right now, Drew?
It's a 7.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I'm not surprised. I know you as a very heart-centered person, so I had a feeling it'd be easy for you to drop in there. So from feeling your heart so strongly like this, go ahead and ask your heart, where in my body is this guilt that I'm not spending enough time with my kids? Where is it sitting? Just really imagine you're spending time with your kids, lots of quality time, you're doing your job as a dad really well, and then you go do something else and you're ridden with that guilt. Am I spending enough time? Do they get enough of me? Where in your body can you feel that, Drew?
It's all my brain.
In your brain?
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel in your brain?
The bigger part of it's just worry.
Is there like a physical sensation that you can track in your brain?
Yeah, and it's, part of that worry is doubt.
Mm.
Doubting if I'm making a difference, or doubting if I'm doing the right things. A lot of who I am is, I don't settle, and I'm not complacent, and I want to be the best person I can be, especially with my upbringing. And so, I think a lot about daily actions and the things that I do with my time, and wonder, is this the best use of the allotted time in my life? And am I taking that time and leveraging it to making the impact that I can make, whether it's with my children or with other people around me?
Got it. So does that translate to a fear of not being good enough?
Yeah. I think the biggest fear of that is not being good enough dad.
Mm. So, where can you feel that fear in your body?
I feel it in my chest mostly.
Mm. Perfect. And how strong is the sensation on a scale of 1 to 10?
As I'm thinking now, 9.
Wow. Okay, perfect. So, this is where you're going to allow yourself to just really be a space for that fear to communicate with you and just really be present with it. Don't try to change it, don't try to make it go away. No rationalizations, just really being present with that fear and feeling it in your chest and just really relaxing into it and knowing that it's safe to just feel it. And then just go ahead and I'll be quiet for a little bit, and that's all we're going to do is just feel that fear of not being a good enough dad right in your heart. Well, I'm going to put my phone on quiet. And for those of you watching or coming in now, Drew is feeling his fear of not being a good enough dad. He's feeling it in his chest at a very strong intensity. And all he's doing right now is just dropping into his heart and being a space for that fear to be felt, because that's all it wants to be. So we're just going to be quiet for a little bit. Except the computer is not quiet, but you know. Just really allowing yourself to just be present with that fear.
To where it feels like it's kind of moving out.
Hmm. Where is it moving?
Feels like it's lifting up to my shoulders and just out.
Shoulders and where?
And just moving out of my body.
Hmm. Yeah, just stay present with it. And if it moves, just follow it along and feel it wherever it's going. Just really allowing yourself to stay present with the thought of and the fear of not being a good enough dad. You're not sure if you're spending enough time with them, if they get from you what they need. Just really tracking where in your body you feel that. And you're right, just by feeling it, it will move out, but it does want the attention that it's been asking for. So that's all you're doing right now. You're giving it the attention it's asking, just like a little kid, so it can move on. And we're just helping Drew eliminate some of his fears and guilt for not spending enough time with his kids or for not being a good enough dad. I'm just locating it in his body so he can sense where it's stored, while these unprocessed emotions are stored. And he's just doing it all himself. He's allowing himself to feel, giving himself permission to be a space and listen. You're doing great, Drew. Where are you feeling it right now, Drew?
It kind of moves around within between my shoulders and my lower chest, but right now it's feels like it's just kind of hanging over my heart.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, keep tracking it. Every moment you're feeling it, it's communicating with your body and teaching you something that you can take away from this. So all you have to do is just listen with your body and listen with your senses. And for those of you watching, I invite you to go into your heart too and sense if there's any fears of not being a good enough parent, because I know a lot of us carry this inside and we can just feel it all up. Just be present with it and feel it so that we don't have to carry this anymore. We can operate out of a place of pure love instead of out of fear and guilt. It's really staying with it, Drew, and just really imagining no matter how much time you spend, it's never enough. You're feeling guilty about not spending enough time with them. You have this fear of not being the wonderful, loving, present dad that you want to be. Just really feeling it all up wherever it shows up in your body. And what we're doing by feeling it up is we are eliminating the emotional charge that is stored with this pattern, with this memory, with this belief that we're carrying from somewhere in our life that's probably not even us. So by feeling it all up, we're actually allowing our bodies to get rid of that charge so that the emotion has a chance to move on. And we do too. And for the new onlookers here, we're helping Drew just feel through some of his fears in his body of not being a good enough dad or not spending enough time with his kids. So he's doing some EA on this right now. Just allowing himself to be present with the sensations that causes in his body. Realizing that it's not even him, it's a thing in him that wants to teach him something. So what he's doing is he's listening. And if you're on this with us, I invite you to also feel into your heart and feel if you have a fear like this and where you may have stored it in your body. How is the sensation, Drew? Is it getting lighter?
Mm-hmm.
And you started at like a level 9, which is very strong. So where would you say it's now?
Be doing 1 and 2.
Oh, wow. You've done a lot of feeling already. Perfect. So let's keep going. You're doing amazing. And just, is it still in your chest and your shoulders?
I don't know. It's interesting. It's when you asked me the questions, it came pretty heavy on my heart. And, thoughts would come of thinking about situations where when I do feel this, and it's very similar situations and questions of why I feel this way. And, um, so it's interesting because it's brought up thoughts and memories of, references to when what I do as a dad and how I'm different than my father, who I still love dearly. I just saw him live with regret, and still to this day, in which watching his children grow up and not spending enough time with them and losing the relationship. And I think that's probably another fear of mine, is just, being there for them, especially as they start growing up and developing, and being a rock for them. And being able to help them through those hard times, feeling like they can come to me and share their struggles and their wins, and they can lean on me and trust to share things with me, and to just always have that relationship with them. Yes. And I guess that's why time's so important to me, because I want them to understand that I'm not there just to put food in their mouths and to keep them sheltered. I'm there to just to be a safe person for them.
Yeah, and they don't really care about, stuff as much. For them, like, love means spending time with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. So let's see if we can trigger this fear one more time and see how strong it is, and then keep feeling, just so we can make sure that you're really getting to the root of this. So Drew, just imagine you are spending time with your kids, you're having a great day, you're doing lots of quality time, and then you sit down, you have to do all the other things that you also are responsible for and you want to do with your life. And you have this guilt in you for not spending more time with them, and you are wondering and worrying if you are the good father that you want to be, if you can be that rock for them. You have a fear that you are not that person for them, and you have a fear that those relationships might not grow into those that you want them to grow in, and just a fear of not being a good enough dad. Do you still feel that in your body somewhere?
Mm-mm.
Wow. So let's drop back into your heart. Just really imagine that big ball of light that you have in your chest, from where you give love. So really illuminate your entire being. And just acknowledge that big act of self-love that you just did for yourself and your body and your family and everyone who's going to benefit from you not operating out of that fear anymore, and instead operating out of a clear knowing when you've spent enough time, when you are a good dad, so that you can precisely direct your time with focus and without guilt and fear. Just really feel that in your heart. Feel that strong beating heart full of love. Just radiate that into all of your cells for a couple minutes here, just to really condition this new way of being for yourself. And just knowing that you'll know in your heart when you spend good quality time and when they are satiated with full of daddiness, and where you can direct your energy at the other things you need to do and you want to do. Knowing that you'll know your own metrics just by listening to your heart. How does your heart feel right now, Drew?
At peace.
Beautiful. Do you feel like you released a good chunk of stuff right now?
Yeah, I feel like, in the last month I've been working to eliminate a lot of this guilt, because I realize it's, stuck with me for so many years. And I feel like this was a big one, to be able to just keep working through that, and to being truthful, to accepting that I am a good dad, and that I do, I make mistakes, as every dad does, but that I'm learning every day, and in the growth I would think that I've made, as far as the attention that I am giving, and then also being able to feel happy and at peace that the time that I did grant with my kids and the attention I gave them was meaningful, and it meant a lot to them.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I feel like you're totally on an amazing path, and you and your family are such a wonderful, strong unit. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to let you release this, because it's just such a joy to see you thrive too.
Thank you.
So let's just do 3 deep breaths to oxygenate really strongly. And then when you're ready, just Come back and open your eyes. Awesome. Wow. Wow, you're such a natural at EA. Awesome.
Well, I appreciate this.
Let's see, we got a couple comments. Oh, just 2 people saying hi to us, Jenny and Annalena. So awesome. No questions.
What's up, ladies?
What's up? Awesome. Do you have any other comments or anything you want to share right now about experience?
I think that's important. I think as any human being is, we live in a day and age where we're always in a rush, and that's something I've also in the last couple months have been trying to be aware of this fast-paced life I'm living in, and taking time like we just did to breathe, become present with ourselves, and take time to ponder and reflect. And in those moments we do find the answers to the things that we're being burdened with, or it's on our subconscious, we're feeling within our bodies, and realizing that our bodies are trying to tell us something. And so it's important to take time to be present, to be aware, and so that we can work through those things and to recharge.
Awesome. Yeah. And then when you feel that heart, and like you said, it's at peace now, and then you let that feeling resonate through your body, it's like for the nervous system and for the cells, that's like the energy that we want to condition more. And we can't fake it, because if there are so many things that are deeply bothering us and where our body is trying to talk to us, it's really hard to sincerely generate that love and gratitude. But just knowing that we can get there, and then how we can get there, it's like you said, it's beautiful just to sit down once or twice a day and just really listen what's up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The key
And
is
then
to slow down.
yeah, slow down to speed up. But honestly, it will make you more efficient too, because then you're not operating out of all these worries, like do I need to do this or that? You just really targetedly know, and then you can be so much more efficient. It's always funny for the people who say they don't have time for meditation. If they knew how much more efficient or proficient and productive it makes them, they would take all that time, right?
Yes, totally.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I wanted to just stack onto this is, when we parents are not afraid to feel our feelings and to do what you just did, and really give our body the time and the space it needs to communicate something with us, the more we can show this to our kids too, and not be so uncomfortable when they're going through something uncomfortable, right? And just saying, okay, you can do this, it's a feeling, let's feel it, right?
Yeah, that's actually something recently that it's been kind of an eye-opening experience for me. As my kids are, he's 10 now, my oldest, and my 7-year-old, I feel like I can have a little bit deeper conversations with them. And I realized that I try to show them what this perfect parent's supposed to be like, and I decided that it's important to show them my flaws and to show them I'm learning just like they are. And I feel like it's allowed us to come closer together and to relate more, because they understand dad makes mistakes just like they do. And dad, has shortcomings, and dad has struggles and fears, and to be open with them. And so as I'm sharing with them, I'm finding that they're also sharing more with me, instead of, like my parents tried to put on this role model of how they were supposed to be perfect, and they weren't, and I could see right through it. It's just being vocal about the things we're working through, and whether good or bad in our lives, and it does allow our children to respond and connect with us.
Beautiful, and totally agree. Since I've been doing EA, my connection with my kids has just gone off the rocker. And like you said, sharing and allowing me in, and also having a lot more access to them when we really need them to do something, because they won't always just feel like, we're onto them, but we have this deep connection. And then when we're actually onto them, there's like, oh, this is now really important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, awesome. I'm so glad we could do this together today, Drew. Thanks for saying yes to this.
No
Super
problem.
exciting.
I appreciate you taking your time and to be able to help me work through it.
Awesome. Yeah. And let me know if you need anything else, or, if anything else comes up. And happy Veterans Day.
All righty. Take care.
You too. We'll see
Bye-bye.
you soon. Bye.